Hey guys, it's Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Got a card for you tonight. We've got coffee and a card tomorrow. I'm running kind of behind on my video for the coffee and a card, so I thought I'd just do it live. Mom had an angiogram the other day and ended up back in the hospital with some minor complications, so I'm running a little behind. I thought I'd just go live and we'd do the card, and I'd remind you that tomorrow's Coffee and a Card. Coffee and a Card is every other Wednesday in my Rolling Meadows home studio. So if you live local in the Chicago area and you want to join us for some Stampin', every other Wednesday morning. We're getting together tomorrow. This is the card we're going to make. And I thought, why not pop in and go live? Just head over heels for this new Thoughtful Blooms stamp set. It's a freebie with Sale-a-bration, and so is the small bloom punch. I love this dude. All right, so here's our card. Coffee and a Card tomorrow. If you live local, come and do it. We're making this card with Thoughtful Blooms stamp set and the small blooms punch. I've also got my leaf punch. I've got the Rococo Rose scalloped linen ribbon here. For my card that we're going to do now, I'm going to use the Seaside Spray, but both are gorgeous colors. I'm going to alternate my Designer Series paper and ribbons. All right, so those are ribbons. Stampin' pads for this project. Seaside Spray, Blueberry Bushel, Rococo Rose, and Pear Pizzazz. The die set. Let me show you this one. I've used this one a couple of times too already because I love this tag. This is our Bonanza dies. It's from the Bonanza Birthday Suite. We're going to use this tag die on our project today. I've got some Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Paper supplies for this card include, oh, let me show you this. We got one more tool. It was in my big shop. I've got the Subtles 3D embossing folder. I've got a Sahara Sand card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Scraps of Rococo Rose. This is about 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then a scrap of Pear Pizzazz. This is about 1 3/4 by 3.5. Then my Whisper White tag. Look at the stitching detail on that tag. Isn't that just so cute? My Designer Series paper are from the 2019-2021 in color 6x6 Designer Series paper pack. And I've got two pieces here. They're a little asymmetric. I've got 2 by 2 of the gingham and 2 1/4 by 2 of the like Venetian pattern. All right, so that's how that lines up. My ribbon is a Seaside Spray this time. It's about 3 3/4 inches. And I think that's it. Let me do a quick little punch here. Let's get these leaves out of here and I can put this punch away. So we need 2 Pear Pizzazz leaves, and I don't punch the whole stems because most of the time I'm hiding them anyways. So just get those out of as little scrap as possible. And let's do some embossing too. All right, so I've done my subtle embossing. I don't know if the camera is catching it. It is very subtle, but it's a nice touch. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue my Designer Series papers down. These are going on to the subtle embossing, so use a generous amount of adhesive. And you go about 3/4 of an inch maybe from the bottom and just straight across the card. All right, and then they'll just butt right one up next to the other. If you've got any overlap, you can, or if you've got any, if it's hanging off on the edge at all, have it overlap in the center. Nobody will ever know where the two papers meet because the tag's going to go over that. Now, let's do some stamping. Let's do our little flowers first. I got Rococo Rose, need a Stampin' Pierce mat. We've got a photopolymer stamp set. And here is my flower. and Rococo Rose ink. We need 3 of these. One of the things you got to do with this little flower is stamp it so that you have 2 petals down, 1 up. So it's kind of like a star with the 1 point directly up and 2 down. All right, so there's your flowers. And let's move this one aside. I'm going to cover my Stampin' Pierce mat, protect it from ink. Let's work on our tag. I've got I've got Pear Pizzazz, Blueberry Bushel, and Seaside Spray for this tag. I'm going to do my tag with Seaside Spray to bring in some of that color since we're using the Rococo Rose paper on this sample. So let's go ahead and do that. I start with my leaf image here, this little like flourish of leaves, and go straight across the bottom of the tag. And then I like to put in the sentiment, so that'll give me an idea of how much space is left to fill with more flourishes and flowers. That's with Blueberry Bushel. And that stamp's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I love that color. And we'll get a nice crisp image. All right, so we'll bring in another little flourish of leaves. And then maybe another little curl of leaves up here. Love. This bitty little flower is also from Thoughtful Blooms. Do a few of those kind of at the end of the little branches. Aren't they beautiful? I love this little flower stamp. Where do I want another one? Here, I think. And I'm going to try one up here and see. I don't know if it's going to get covered by my Rococo Rose flower, but we'll know soon. Now this little spray, it's like a little spray of berries or dots. I'm going to do that one in Seaside Spray this time. We'll go 3 or 4 times. We're just going to fill in some of the white areas. And you're going to have to wing it a little bit and see. I keep trying to stamp it in the Blueberry Bushel. Do you guys see that? Ugh. All right, maybe I'll pull this off without getting the Seaside Spray in the Blueberry Bushel. Okay, I think I want one more little spray. I hope I didn't overdo it. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I tend to overdo it. I'm not going that far. Good enough. All right, let's slide these to the side and get rid of the ink pads before I put my finger in it. Never fails. Rhonda's not usually a flowery person, but those are gorgeous. Thank you, Rhonda. I love a dimensional flower. I don't always go for real flat or flowers that I have to color in. But if you can give me a little dimensional flower, I think they make the best embellishment. So I do use a lot, especially with a punch, a small dimensional flower. And I'm a very happy camper. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at how this one lines up. And I'm going to punch. What do you think? It's got kind of a wide border, but I think it lines up pretty good. There's our flowers. Not too bad. Let me get this guy in here for a second because I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these flowers and my little rhinestone basic jewels. I'm going to pick some rhinestones. Oh, I've got them kind of floating all over the place, don't I? I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Grab either the medium or the large size. I guess you could try the small ones and see how they look. This one's kind of stuck to the backer paper. There we go. Now I'm going to stick it to the card. I'm going to put them in the center of your flowers. This time I'm going medium. I think there's large on my other sample. And then just put the cap right back on your Take Your Pick tool and just press right into the Stampin' Pierce mat. And look at that. Now you've got a perfectly cupped little dimensional flower. So there's 2 and 3. 3 little cupped flowers. Super simple. Isn't that cool? All right. Cute little embellishment. Simple little technique. Now, My tag should be dry enough to handle. Let's go. I'm going to go right side up through my tag, and then I'm going to twist the front so that the tag is right side up both ways. Did you see that? Since we've got a single-sided ribbon, you want to twist when you bring up the front tail. Once you got that, you'll take some linen thread. Oh, I didn't show you guys the linen thread because it's under the tripod. You'll take the linen thread now and then just tie a sweet little bow to hold this tag topper, this little, what do you even call that? The tails? I don't know. I don't know what you even call that, but you're going to hold that nice and tight with linen thread. So I'm going to tie a knot and then a bow. So that's holding nicely. All right, there it is. I like the similar but different textures here and the way that pulls together. Got some ribbon scissors. Do you guys have a ribbon scissor, one that's different for your ribbon than for your paper? I go through ribbon scissors like, I don't know, like crazy. They get dull so fast. All right, then I'm just gonna rearrange my angle. I liked it the other way better. All right, I think I made them too short. Don't tell anybody, okay? It's just between me and you. It's a little short. That's the way it's gonna be tomorrow when people come for coffee and a card. Let's go ahead and get this adhered down. But before I go too far with my adhesive, I want to add a little leaf in the corner here. And that's going to kind of determine, oh, there's no adhesive there, so I should be able to slide it right under. Let's put this about 1 inch from the right edge, about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom edge. See, you don't want them too tall anyways. They'll go off the top of the card. Then we can take a little multi-purpose liquid glue and add a bit on the stem. I'll slide this guy right under the corner. There was no dry adhesive in the corner for it to stick onto, so we'll just add a bit. Same with this guy. Add a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. Kind of slide it out the side of the tag. And then for some dimension, I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to put them on the back of some of the leaves just to lift them off of the card a little bit. So I'll add one here and I'll add one everywhere with how many I just grabbed. Add one over here. Maybe here too. I'm just sticking them to the card, peel the release and stick the leaf too. See how it just adds a little dimension, and once you add those flowers, you'll really appreciate that the leaves have a little pop too. Let me clean up my mess of mini dimensionals I just got everywhere. All right, now our little flowers, the ones that we just shaped using our Stampin' Pierce mat and Take Your Pick tool, can add a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. And let's see where we want these guys. I think there's pretty good. I'm not really smashing down the adhesive yet in case I want to slide them a little bit. We'll see how they look once they're kind of in an arrangement. That's what I like about the multi-purpose liquid glue is you got a little bit of time. You can give it a slide. So I'm going to push this one out a little further and bring this guy into center a little bit. I like that placement. I'll go ahead and burnish them down. But because we gave them some shape using our Stampin' Pierce mat, they really still have a lot of nice dimension. Isn't that cool? All right, so there's our two color combinations. You get to choose one or the other tomorrow at Coffee and a Card. Kathy, come out and do Coffee and a Card with me. Either the Rococo Rose or a Seaside Spray. Pretty simple. Thank you. All right, you guys, if you need anything Stampin' Up, reach out, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. I'll get this up on the blog for you right away. Have a great night. Thanks for joining me.